Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Who We Ooed, an unofficial Doctor Who watch along podcast, the show where we go through all of Doctor Who in order.
Except for like the 60s.
I mean, I went through the 60s in order. I can't speak for you, but in order from color television onward, I should say.
The correction.
But maybe we'll throw in some black and white stuff here and there. I wouldn't be opposed to it, especially some of like the animated stuff.
Yeah, one day we're gonna have to do like the Macatar and like the Savages and like all the stuff you haven't watched.
Have you seen the Macroterror?
I have not.
I have.
But you said you didn't watch the animated version.
Macroterror, I did.
Oh, sorry. I meant to say the Underwater Menace.
Yeah. Underwater Menace, Celestial Toymaker, and Savages. Have you? I don't know. I was just thinking the other day. Do you remember every episode in order? Like, there's so many.
Let's say this. One day we're gonna have to do that as a game to see how much I get. Classic Who, probably not. New Who, I could probably do, except for maybe the Jodie stuff would like just because it's like that stuff I have only seen once. So it's like, okay, I'm confident in my ability to do the first 10 seasons of New Who. Once we get past that, I'm like, especially I could name them in order would be the tricky part of being like Orphan 55 and then Nikola Tesla
Yeah.
then Praxius? Like I might have even got that wrong, but I think that's right.
Yeah, it's tricky. Even just like I was thinking the other day about just like Hartnell era stuff. Season 1, I know. Season 2, I pretty much do. The season 2 and 3 when there's like random historical reconstructions. I don't know the order for all those. I mix up myth makers and Romans and I don't know. Having there be like literally 10 different companions with him helps kind of keep things in order. Like, oh,
Yeah.
he was with that guy then and this girl then, but it's still kind of tricky. Is Hartnell the one who goes through the most companions? I feel like Tom is not going to get to that point.
That's a great question. Tom, but then you have to remember Tom at the end gets two more companions,
True.
like at the last two stories. So like
Yeah.
and then you just got another one this story that we're talking about.
I mean, this is completely off topic, but what is it? Sarah, Harry, Leela, Canine Mark 1, Canine Mark 2, Romana 1, Romana 2, Adric, Nissa, Tegan. So 10. So he's on par with Hartnell, who also had 10,
Yeah.
despite being here for 4 more years.
Yeah. That's better that way. Imagine if every season of Tom's era it's a new companion. That would have been awful.
Do you think if Sarah was still here, you'd be sick of her?
Oh no. I could never be sick of Elizabeth Sladen, bro.
What if it was like Sarah and all those other people? Like Sarah just never left.
Sour Thadric would have been something. I'm telling you.
Sarah and Romana
Like
having his own little harem,
Sarah Jane.
in a sense.
Sarah Jane's the third whale in Paris. Yeah,
But not talking about fan fiction. Today, Cam, we will be discussing the third serial of season 18, the first of the E Space trilogy, Full Circle.
ooh.
Broadcast October 25th to November 15th, 1980. This was written by Andrew Smith. This is his sole television writing credit. Looks like he goes on to do a bunch of Big Finish stuff.
But do you know the biggest fact about Andrew Smith?
No.
This kind of puts the whole story into perspective. Uh, the man was only 17 when he wrote this story. The man wasn't even a man; he was a boy.
Why do they have a minor writing for Doctor Who?
I have no idea. Like you would
Was
think
he
that, like,
just like a fan submission?
yeah, yeah, that's what it was. And like you would think, like I was thinking, like there would be union stuff or BBC stuff. There'd be a law being like, no, you have to be at least 18. But seems like they didn't care. And like it's one of those things. Like, he's the youngest writer of the show ever. It's like that's a pretty cool title to have. Like I was 17 years old and wrote for Doctor Who.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
And spoilers for a 17-year-old, he didn't do that bad of a job for writing for a show like this.
I would say far from not bad. It's a lot of really interesting ideas here.
Adults with experience have a harder time writing a story like this. I watched the DVD extra for this story. He explained it like this. He submitted it to Robert Holmes. Like they made like this like book. I don't know if you ever heard of it. Like there was like a Doctor Who production book. They explained the production process of Doctor Who, right? Andrew as a fan read it, submitted his own like treatment in like story outline, sent it to Robert Holmes. I forget if he heard anything back from him or just got like a rejection or whatever. He then resent it to Anthony Reid. Anthony Reid sent him like annotations about it. So that was like, oh, he was like impressed with that. I was like, oh my god, I'm getting a response back. He actually read it and like it gave me notes. Gave it back. He sent it again to Douglas Adams. Douglas Adams must have liked it enough that he brought him on set from Creature of the Pit. So then this outline for this story called The Planet That Slept was just in like the production office. So when the script editor of this era, Christopher H. Bermead, took over, he read this outline on his desk and said, "You know what? This isn't that bad. I'm gonna let's talk to this writer." And the writer was just 17.
Interesting. If he was 17 when this was being produced, did he read it when he was, like, 14? If he was sending it to Robert Holmes?
Well, like, I don't know if this was the story that he submitted at that point.
Oh, yeah.
So this could have just been the story that he submitted to Douglas Adams or Anthony Reid.
That's pretty cool, though.
They said that like during the documentary that Christopher H.B. during the first meeting, he had a hard time getting past the acme. But yeah, he doesn't have that much. Like basically has no other writing credit of TV ever. He went on to be a policeman and then wound up doing a bunch of Big Finish.
Yeah, I was looking on the TARDIS wiki, it says, "Oh, he also wrote for Blake 7 and Survivors," but that's also just Big Finish. It wasn't, at the time.
Yep. Just but he has done a ton of Big Finish.
Yeah, that's cool. This was directed by Peter Grimwade, who this is his directorial debut, but he's been helping out as a production assistant sporadically. His first one being Spearhead from Space, and he will go on to write Time Flight. So that's good.
Not good.
Produced by John Nathan Turner. Cam, what did you think of Full Circle?
It's good. I dig this story. I don't think I loved it, but I digged it. It's very similar to the past couple of serials where I'm like, I'm just digging how different this is from what we have watched in the past couple of months. This is completely different. I much more vibe with this type of Doctor Who than with the Graham Williams stuff. Like I will just put this on and I will just eat it up. It's fun enough. It takes itself serious enough where I'm not like with a lot of that Graham Williams stuff. It was just so humorous and just so like I didn't like. Where's the stakes here? Like the stakes in a story like this is very much clear, and I think this is a good introduction of Adric. Of course, later on down the line, we will see what they do with the character. But I think starting off, this isn't the worst place in the world. He's not so annoying in this story in particular. I digged a lot of the ideas in the story. I think that there's a bit of it here where him being such a young writer, I would say it's probably an aspect of the story that's the best aspect of the story and the worst aspect of the story. Of like he has a lot of ideas and he wants to put them all on that page. And sometimes that's great. And then sometimes it's like, did all this stuff need to be here? Like, could you have cut some things to be able to focus on some other ideas that you had? Like, I don't I'm still kind of a little bit confused about the story at the end of the day. But overall, I would say I enjoyed my time with Full Circle. What did you think of it, Ben?
Before I give my thoughts to interject, how familiar are you with the future of Adric? Have you seen a lot of his future stories?
I have seen Earthshock, and that is it.
And that left enough of an impression on you?
Well, like I know for a fact that like just he has a huge reputation of just being very annoying. I don't find him to be annoying in this story. Do you find him to be annoying in the story so far?
No. He's a little bit of like a wimp,
Yeah.
but he's not entirely unlikable. It seemed like they were kind of go for like a whiz kid. Like I got a badge in math excellence.
Which it sounds like that's a made up thing that you just said, but it's the truth that he has a little star. He's
Yeah,
like,
no, he got a gold star and he's very proud of it. But at the end of the day, he kind of fucks up more than he's smart.
yeah.
He's causes a lot of problems. But, he's fine.
He teaches those kids how to steal, like, what is it, melons that they steal, or
Well, no, he tries to because he wants to join their gang,
yeah.
their melon stealing gang.
Yeah. The cave dwellers.
Yeah, but he fucks up that too.
Yeah.
Can't do anything right.
No.
Yeah, but he's fine. I think he needs some more development, which maybe he doesn't get.
We'll see, Ben.
We'll see. He may be my favorite companion that there ever was.
I feel like that's probably only true for people that were like teenagers of this time and probably like Adric's age or like a little bit younger than Adric's age, and they were like, I identify as Adric. I am Adric.
He's probably it's been like since no, I guess Joe was kind of young. I was gonna say since Zoe, but that we've had like not an adult companion.
Yeah. But you're still an adult.
Yeah,
Like Adric is still like 15, 16. Or
yeah.
at least he's played as that. I don't know how old Matthew Waterhouse is.
Zoe, I think, is like a teen.
But supposedly Tom fucking hated Matthew Waterhouse. He was just like, it was the first companion of his that he didn't have a say in. John Nathan Turner was just
Ah,
like, all right, here is the companion. All the other ones, like Leela, starting from Leela to Romana, Romana 2, he had a say in who they casted. But this one, he showed up and he had no say in who they casted. So he was kind of a little bit of a grumpysaurus when it comes to dealing with Adric.
yeah. Well, I'll have to see more from him in the future. But setting Adric aside, I still haven't said. I think it's pretty good. Kind of similar to the last two stories here. It's got really strong world building to the point where like the Doctor and Romana are like in the first part for like 3 minutes, and it's mostly just like the colonists doing stuff, and it's very interesting and engaging. Yeah, a lot of really interesting ideas here. I wonder if that will be a theme of the really strong world building.
Of the Christopher H. Mead era of script editor.
Is that who it is right now?
Yes.
How long is he script edited?
I think that's a tricky question.
Just season 18.
Is he just season 18?
Yeah.
But then he also writes for the show a bit.
Logopolis, Castrovalva, and Frontios. But yeah, pretty good. I think the best of season 18 so far. Uh
Spoilers, man.
is that spoilers?
For the rankings and ratings section.
Oh, I guess kind of. But talking about the plot a little bit first, what do you think of this idea that spoiler alert, the kind of colonists aren't colonists who crash landed, but they're actually the evolution of the Marshmen, who are the evolution of the spiders, and it's all one species.
See, I like the idea, but it's one of those moments where it's like, all right, the execution of it just makes me question, like, they didn't go too much into explanation of like why, like how, like does it fully make sense to you, Ben?
But I guess over thousands of generations in a negative space, so things are probably funky.
Yeah, but like how, why, where did this spaceship come from? The space liner?
I couldn't quite tell. It was either A, there were a spaceship that crashed and colonists who died, or they built it. Either way, the people who inhabited it were Marshmen, are their
But
ancestors.
that's what I was kind of just confused of where the fuck did that come from, and like,
Probably the former, because otherwise, if they built the ship, they would know how it works. All they do know is how to repair it with the manual.
but then I was thinking like, but is that something to do with like this whole evolution thing? I have no idea, Ben. But it's an interesting idea. I wish that they fleshed it out a little bit more.
Yeah, they kind of just throw it in at part 4.
Yeah, it makes more sense for this in the story to have it be like a part 3 reveal, and then part 4 would be more of a explanation, or at least that's like the cliffhanger of part 3. It's like it just needed more time to fully develop that idea and let us in on more of the concrete details, because there's a lot to be like, all right, that's a cool idea, but does it fully make sense? I don't know. But like you said, I like the whole idea of e-space and all of it just being like, all right, this is not our universe, so it's kind of be kind of funky and weird and like we're gonna have some crazy shit. And then the doctor's gonna be like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
The Big Finish does something similar to this for the Eighth Doctor, where the Eighth Doctor for after they do the big first arc, he winds up in like this space of that's not our own, like this other universe, basically. And like basically the whole idea is that like this universe is not confined by our expectations. Which I like that because it's like, all right, a lot of the times with Doctor Who, you can run into the symptom of the Doctor is such a knowledgeable alien that he's gonna wind up in this alien planet and be like, oh yeah, I know what this is. This is the blah 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 for the blah 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 system, and oh, they're having it, so this is the blah blah blahs, and they know the blah blah blah. So it's just like when Doctor Who's like that, it kind of becomes like the little bit of the fun and the mystery gets ruined.
But this is uncharted territory even for him.
Yeah, when the doctor's even clueless, and it's like, all right, what's going on here? What is this planet? Who are these beings?
They can't even see outside the TARDIS. They have to just go out and see.
Which let's talk about the beginning stuff. So they get the call at the end of last serial of okay, Gallifrey wants us back, which is kind of similar to the end of Sarah Jane of Hand of Fair, where it's like, oh, the Talmuds are calling.
Very reminiscent.
Which is also very funny that like for this doctor, for the fourth doctor, who's the doctor I would say for the most part is very much like I am my own independent person and nobody can tell me what to do. Every single time the Gallifreyans call, he's like, gotta stop doing what I'm doing. Like the Talmuds are calling. I ain't got a Gallifrey. I'm getting the call.
The only time he's really like, fuck you is Genesis.
Yeah. But I'm saying his personality is very much like, you know, he's very much like the fourth doctor's a little bit of an asshole character. So it's very funny that he's always like, you know what? Talmuds are calling. I gotta go. But of
Yeah.
course, we find out that the Talmuds are calling because
She has
Romana needs to go home. She needs to be in Gallifrey.
yeah.
What do you think of that, Ben?
I don't know why. They never completed the key to time. They gotta do that. The Black Guardian is still wants the key to time right now, presumably, and there's no randomizer. Did we mention that in Leisure Hive they took out the randomizer
No, I don't think we ever did.
because he has to use it to fix something with the tachyon generator.
Yeah.
Besides that, it's interesting. I think they talk about like the Black Guardian and stuff too. A lot of the times, this show, especially right now, can feel very episodic.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the moments where they kind of bring things together. They talk about things that happened in the past. They speculate on things that'll happen in the future. I want more name drops of like Victoria and stuff, you know? Makes me feel invested.
But you also have to imagine like it's designed that way. It's for people just to hop in and be like, oh, Doctor Who's on. I'm gonna watch Doctor Who.
True, I suppose at this point it is episodic by design. But yeah, I thought that first bit of this episode was really good. You know, Romana lamenting that she likes her new life, wandering time and space.
We see Romana's room, Ben.
Yeah, she's got a girly room.
But then we get like a really cool scene where the roll. First off, the K9 screws up flying the TARDIS. God damn it, K9.
Speaking of K9, he gets beheaded in part 2, and he's just dead. JNT just really fucking hates K9. Leisure Ivy commits suicide. Meglos, he runs out of power and has to just be carried around. This time he gets beheaded.
But here's the thing, man. Yes, he hates K9, but also loves him because he decides I'm gonna give him a whole fucking series. So it's very much like JNT has mixed feelings about K9. It's pretty clear. He hates it, but he also kind of loves him. He loves the little guy.
I guess. But yeah, K9 fucks up. They get sent to E-Space.
But it's that whole sequence when they go, they're like they see on the monitor that it's Gallifrey,
Yeah.
and then they go and they're like, oh shit, this isn't Gallifrey, and like it's still stuck there on the projector. It's like, oh, it says it's Gallifrey, but really it's this other planet. Which
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
It's interesting and implies that the scanner is not just like a window. It's
Yeah,
actually looking at the
coordinates,
and creating an image from that.
which doesn't really make sense.
It's sci-fi. But yeah, really good, strong opening. Which I wonder if that was if this is like a E-Space theme. Presumably, Andrew Smith did not come up with that.
No, I would imagine that would probably be Christopher H. Bermede. It was like, oh no, let's do this. Let's have him be in this other universe and let's spice things up a bit.
Yeah,
Which I think is it's a great idea for the start of the show. of like, okay, let's create some new energy.
Yeah, having a little I know that it's a trilogy. Having a little mini arc in this season, I think is good before we kind of wind things down with the master and regeneration.
But yeah, we already talked about Adric, that like we were both pretty much on the same page there of just like he's fine for this episode.
Yeah.
We'll see how he is for the next episode.
What do you think of Romana here?
Like,
Just say she's fine. I think in particular when she's like being controlled, her performance leaves a little to be desired, and just the way she's like swiping, I don't feel any enthusiasm. And then that's not necessarily on her.
yeah,
It's probably the script.
oh yeah, it's going back to like the companion archetype, but just like I wish there was more hair.
Yeah. I thought I would love Romana too way more.
She's great when Douglas Adams writes for her, though.
She is. The problem is that only happens for 10% of her stories, and the other 90%, she's not that.
Yeah.
But that 10% is so good. Mary Tam has nothing like that.
No. Well, it's also it makes sense of why like that is so popular amongst the writers of the novels for like the missing adventures.
Yeah, I bet future modern writing for her is pretty good.
Because but like they're all like I want to be Douglas Adams. I want to write Douglas Adams Doctor Who. But yeah, she's just fine this episode. Like there was nothing really that much to say. It is just a shame because it's like we got that glimpse. Got it, man.
We're so close to greatness.
But yeah, we already talked about the melons. Him stealing the melons. And how it is funny that this gang is just the melon stealing gang, dude.
What did you think of the melon stealing gang? All right, let me find their actual name.
I didn't think that they were that memorable. They were pretty much just what you expect out of just these teenagers these rebellion teens in a story like this. Nothing to stand out.
They're the Outlers. 'Cause they don't live in the Starliner, they live out, I guess?
Yeah.
They don't care about the embark.
They don't be swimming with the homies and like the pond lake thing. Remember at the beginning of the story where those two guys were just did you notice the two guys were just splashing each other in the pond at the start of the story?
Mhm.
I found that image to be very funny of just these two men just splashing.
Yeah, they're very carefree.
And there was nothing like splashing the homies, Ben.
What about the Marshmen? First, what did you think of their design?
Very much just an obvious ripoff of the creature from the Black Lagoon. Like almost plagiarism.
Let me see. I wanna do more universal horror, that is not one I have seen. Yeah, pretty close. They have a little bit more of, like, a kinda brain thing going on.
Yeah, but like you know what I'm saying. It's pretty similar.
Yeah.
That was the inspiration here. There's no question.
For sure. I like the aspect of them that they're not just like mindless monsters who want to bash your head in.
Yeah.
Again, they're ancestors. They're confused about what's happening, but they have the capacity to like learn and grow and evolve. And they're not inherently evil. The like young one, the doctor almost kind of befriends.
I like that scene when like the one character was like, "We gotta kill this one and like inspect them," and the doctor's like, "No, don't do that."
That's murder.
But like a man of science is like, "No, you got we gotta inspect it. We gotta do an antosser. You need to see what the hell these things are." I thought that scene was pretty cool, and like it felt like it would be something that you would happen in this environment of like, no, we gotta do some science stuff. We gotta figure this out, man.
What about the Deciders? That kind of group. Any standout there?
Like, I wish that that element of the story was more fleshed out because I was never really like I never really loved any of those characters. I never thought that any of those characters was fully fleshed out and like they were just pretty much generic, just elite civilization people. Like,
I thought there were some interesting things that I felt like it was trying to say about like deciders who don't decide anything, just endless procrastination going in a circle, leaders who aren't leading.
yeah,
I don't know if there's any kind of real world analog, but again, interesting world building by this 17-year-old.
yeah. But again, that's why I'm like, it's the best and worst part of the story is that like you can kind of tell that it's a 17-year-old. 'Cause it's like he has all these big ideas, but it's like, I wish Christopher H. Mead was much more like okay, this all this stuff is great, but let's focus on that. And let's get rid of this, and let's
Yeah.
enhance this. Like, I feel like if he was giving, if like a Robert Holmes script writer was able to really like hone down the story, I feel like this would be like a really good story. But instead of having a little bit more fat to it, kind of just makes this a good story.
Yeah. Well, what is the best special effect?
I really love that for that first cliffhanger of the Moshman coming out of the mosh and like the smoke.
Ooh, yeah, that does look good. Having the planet be mostly on location, I think helps tremendously.
Yeah, and the location filming was very very well done on this one as well. It looks good.
Worst?
I don't think there's anything that bad that stood out to me, except for maybe that sequence where Romana has like coverings on her face and like that stuff when she's like kind of possessed.
I think the ship set is a little uninspired.
Yeah, but it's kind of just this. That's just the Arrow Doctor Who, Ben.
Yeah. What about the spiders?
Oh, the spiders. Yep.
Honestly, they look better than like Planet of the spiders.
But no, that has its own charm to it.
They're a lot more articulated here.
There's really something very cute about those spiders. Planet of the Spiders. It might be this nostalgia talking, man. I dig those designs.
Man, I can't wait for the Five Doctors. Speaking of nostalgia, I was looking back at some little bits of clips of Three Doctors and seeing Pat and John bantering with each other. I just had a smile on my face the whole time.
First, before that, we got Earthshock. That's the next one for me that I'm like, oh, I'm so excited to rewatch Earthshock.
Hmm.
Shame you got it spoiled. It would have been fun if you didn't get
That
it
is
spoiled.
Cybermen?
Yeah.
I don't think there's any way I could have not known they were
Yeah.
Cybermen. Ready to talk about cliffhangers?
Yeah, sure. Let's go to cliffhangers.
So first, like we said, is the Marshmen emerging from the marsh. Two, Romana is locked outside of the TARDIS by the Outlers. She's attacked by spiders and falls unconscious. And three is a controlled Romana lets the Marshmen into the Starliner.
It's the first one.
Oh, absolutely. Alrighty, Cam, what would you rate Full Circle?
Is this as good as Hand of Fair? I don't think it's as good as Hand of Fair. Is this as good as Stones of Blood? I think this is a little bit better than Stones of Blood. So I'm going to go 7.9. I thought this story was good, but not great. On the cusp of being better, but it's just a little bit it's just like it's a 7.9 story for me. It's almost there. Almost.
I'm gonna go one higher to 8 for an average of 7.95. Talking about the polls, as dear listener, we have told you 60 odd times. Doctor Who Magazine does a poll every decade. In 2023, Full Circle was rated 25th. In 2014, it was rated 27th. In 2009, it was rated 22nd. And 1998, it was rated 18th. So over the years, it went down quite a bit, and it's just starting to creep back up.
Makes sense. I could imagine at the time people were like, "Oh my god, this is really good." And then maybe people when they rewatched it were like, "Oh, this isn't as good as we remembered."
Yeah.
But then maybe some people now when the Blu-ray came out were like, "Actually, this is pretty good."
And for reference, this places it right above the Mask of Mandragora and right below Planet of Evil.
And then in 2014, the last time I did the full poll, it was 143. So in between the Faceless one and the Sontaran Stratagem slash the Poison Sky.
This is right below Faceless One.
Yeah. Did you like the Faceless ones more than this? Were they on par? Would you just say?
Faceless One has some interesting ideas. It shouldn't have been a six-parter though. Six parts was too long. Alrighty, so that'll do it for Full Circle. Next week, we will be continuing the E-Space trilogy with State of Decay.
Terrence Dix is back, baby.
Is it Terrence Dix?
Yep, he's back.
For first one since oh, he did Horror of Fang Rock.
Yeah.
Cool. I will look forward to that. So tune in next week. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Peace out, everyone.